Hi Sagittarius. It's Cancer season and it is the solstice when I'm doing your reading particularly. I get a little more freedom, and I know what you get, how you get when you guys are given that and you really go for it. And that's where you may feel comfortable doing, going, moving, and this season might ask you to take a step back. The season might have you assess and speak only when necessary. Not saying that you don't, but if you are worried about what you're going to say or what you want, or worried about the things that are still not really set in stone, I would pull back, or the cards are advising you to pull back, at least in the beginning of the month, because what you sometimes, not all times, but what Gemini season shows us is that there's value in knowing and speaking and saying and having conversations and change, which they give us, but it's also at the same time where you are able to process, digest, see, listen, hear, and then speak what is only actually necessary for the time being. And I feel like that's how you're coming into this season in particular. However, you may have an opportunity to talk about something that you've learned, something you've maybe put a lot of energy into, are ready to share, whether it's been a long time or not. Putting energy is like the depth of the energy. It's like healing, or rest. It's the depth of the rest. It's not just how much, like, it's okay if you get 8 to 12 hours of sleep, but are you going into that deep sleep cycle, right? And those things are actually really important. You may find that what comes up through this observation, or through taking more of a yin position, or maybe even being forced to by Cancer season's nature, you may realize what you've even visualized yourself that maybe in the past would have been more and given you more drive or motivation, and now doesn't. Now it's something different. There's an evolution within yourself, but within what you're wanting to build, create, whatever you have been building or creating, or the work that you're deeply interested in. This is also very personal. I think this month for you, more than anyone, if people really do know you, they know that you are very sensitive, that you are sensitive to thought and to how you go about your own freedom, like your personal freedom. You're sensitive to yourself, which can cause certain people to be surprised, especially if you're a Cancer sun, when they see that sensitivity in you come out, or they see that empathetic side of you come out. And here, that's why, you know, whenever you need to like pull back and assess even more, there's usually something you're learning along the way. And in Cancer season, it might be compassion. There might be something about yourself that you're even seeing within yourself for the first time, or for the first time maybe in a healthy way, or a way that is very important for you. There's something you really need to hear that the divine possibly is trying to get to you, having the High Priestess and the judgment. I really do think this is about whatever God or life's been continuously showing you over and over again. Now it's here saying, hey, if you want to keep fighting for this, you can, but there's more if you let go. There's better if you let go. There's more fun if you let go. There's more opportunity if you let go. There's more understanding when you let go. I don't know what else more I can tell you. It's this ability to be a little less attached to what isn't important anymore, and more attached or focused on what actually is important to you right now in your life. And you'll find that sometimes the attachment comes from how much you've put into something, how much you've given to something, or how much of your pure-hearted ethic, your drive, your passion into something. And when that something doesn't take off, which is very unusual for you. But if that something doesn't show signs of fruition or signs of prosperity, it deters you. And I think this month, and I'm not saying that it's actually going to happen this month, that's more of what you're learning about yourself, perhaps. That what in you is willing to fight, and what about you is willing to flee. So fight or flight and flee. Or flee. And for you, I'm using that because it's like, I just imagine a horse, riding off into the distance and just being like, fuck this, I'm a wild horse, gotta go. There's certain aspects of your life where you might shift or notice where those two philosophies need to inhabit the opposite place. So if you're someone who finds that you need travel for work, or you need certain freedoms in your life, you're going to want to, or even within your mind, people that you're around, you may have few close people to you, but you like to also travel and experience things. Now you might feel like you want to experience new people, maybe new places too. But you'll find more than ever this is more of this month is a very personal journey, but you're going to have to communicate with people about this, because it's clearly just not you anymore, perhaps. And you're being told this over and over again. Now it kind of hits you, and it's like, okay, when Leo season comes, how do you want to do it? Do you want to be wondering why you didn't do this or that in Cancer season? No. And it's mainly with yourself, because you can have all the things planned, but if you're there and not having an experience that you could have if you just took a moment and took time to take a breather with yourself and to see what's really being said to you and what's needing to calm this fight. It could just be Venus is in Aries. Yeah, Venus is in Taurus, sorry. Mars in Aries. By the time it goes into Taurus on the 5th, I think you'll have a different understanding of what you're trying to communicate. It might be easier by then, but there's certain things that need to come out right at the beginning, and it's probably the best time to do that while Venus is still in Gemini. It will move into Cancer towards the end of the month, which reminds me we'll get into the second part, which will be in a link below, as well as different options to get a personal reading from me, whether it's pre-recorded or one-on-one for now. You now see what happens when your skill of being playful, your energy and enthusiasm for life, how it affects the people around you and the close people, and how they care for you at this time, and how you care for yourself, and how you're inviting them into this other space with you. Especially if you already have other people in that space. So it reminds me of Meet the Fockers, where it's like the inner circle. You may feel this surge of energy come forth throughout the month, at different times, and it's going to propel you to want to take action on something. And then you might find this few moments of deep rest and relaxation, or a few days, you'll just have this balance, which almost doesn't seem possible, but for some reason in this season, you find yourself so closely. You find you want to be closer to home, whether if you're someone who feels more at home on the road or at home, that is within your own personal choice. There's just going to be neat freedom in your mind. You're going to need freedom to roam in your mind and feel different things and go through what Cancer season connects through all of us. And certain things, if it becomes cloudy at all, or your vision becomes unclear, just take a beat. Because a lot is maybe being asked of you. For some of you, a lot is being asked of you to be external and be out there, yet you don't always understand why. We have the 7 of Cups to 7 of Pentacles, and it's obvious that you've turned this into something, that you've turned something into substance. And this month you get to take a look at what that is, and then you can assess what needs to go and what needs to stay. But for now, it's enjoying the fruits of, instead of fighting, because you might have to say this, there might be certain people in your life who are like, okay, enough. I've become very clear, and this is how I'm moving forward. This is how I'd like to move forward. This is what I want to do, especially if you're in charge of something. You just kind of go for it, because something about Cancer season that reminds us that what we have and what's around us is a part of our ego, a part of our process. It's a part of our comfort. It's part of our successes. It's part of enjoying things in life, but also finding maybe a deeper meaning to it all, or a different outcome, or being in the mystery, which is also the High Priestess, right? You come right into Cancer season unsure or in a darker place, not meaning it has to be negative, because I also see negatives as positives because they're helping you get there anyway. However, this place doesn't seem so fruitful at first, or this place is what you've been asked to take a seat back in. Maybe something happened towards the end of last month or whatever it is. You're then able to process, digest. Cancer is also a ruler of the digestive system, and you have to digest, but the way you do it is through connection. It's through speaking up. And it may be something that is even new to you, which is pretty cool. I think that sometimes in the moment realizations are way more powerful, especially when people are around, because reactions, even from yourself, can almost make you remember in a way that's, I think, more powerful, or can be more powerful. And what comes up to heal is within this part of your nature where you can go back and forth on things, and people probably don't know this about you, depending on how much you've allowed yourself to expand without being just like the life of the party, or the one that is outspoken, or the one that everyone thinks is cool or wants to be on their good side. It's more of a comfort level within yourself and within what is around you at this moment that makes you so sure about what your next steps will be. You know, by the end of the month, you understand what needs to and can't come any further, even if it's just in your mind, because right now it's just taking up space. And Cancer season brings you there and brings you to a very clear state. Again, might be foggy in the beginning because you're clearing everything out, but sometimes you need to speak to clear that out. It needs to come out of you to make you understand that this was all not for nothing, that something comes out of learning, something comes out of understanding yourself and understanding the world a little bit better, and roaming to those places that other people may not go to, or being fearless in certain ways, especially in your mind this month and within your interactions and your intimate spaces. There's something so powerful about that, and I think something is constantly revealed to you this month, and it feels like you're in and out and in and out. For you, it will be more extroverted than for most, but I think you're gonna enjoy it. I think last month you kind of had, it's not necessarily ease that you had, but you've acquired this understanding. For those of you Sagittarius suns really coming into yourself, this understanding of the process of life. For Cancer risings, this might be very much more about what you are learning to communicate at this time. So this could be very much about you in this way. However, there's a part of you that needs to be shown to, and not so much for anyone else, but for yourself, for your own self-awareness. Say, like, I said this, I did this, like, I mean this. I'm sitting behind this. This is not a joke. But I'm also having fun doing it. Like a serious yet very exciting time in your life. And anything that comes up against that, or anyone that comes against that, I think they should be warned this month that you're not, you're taking things just as seriously as you do playfully. And what you find more than ever by the end of this month is that you feel probably more like yourself than you felt in a while. So cheers to Cancer season, and what going through some raw stages in Gemini season can bring us to wash us clean in a cozy home of ourselves and our inner child in the month where it becomes very obvious where parenting has not been done and needs to be done just within oneself. And it's not saying anything against anyone's parents. It's a hard job, almost impossible. Can't be right all the time, can't be perfect. And what is that, And you know that more than ever. And I think that you may gain some recognition in a way, even just from yourself, this full validation of what is and what it is that you want come Leo season. And how this season really changes things for you. It's hard to really say too much because you're going to feel it and experience it in a very high sensory way. And I just hope that you do. I hope that you we'll just leave it there. You know what I mean? Okay. The second part where we look at the cards will be in a link below. I get to spend a little bit more time now. There's more freedom in my life. All information to work with me below, like I said earlier. And I hope you have a great rest of your season, Sag. Or Cancer season.